Wonderhussey here in the beautiful mountains on the Montana-Idaho border. I'm not sure if I'm in Montana or Idaho, but I know my destination is in Idaho. Okay, Montana was back down that way, and it was hotter than blazes. I'm serious. I left Death Valley for the summer at the beginning of July, looking for cooler temperatures. And well, I guess it's all relative. I mean, Death Valley was like 130, and up here it's only been in the 90s, but man, that's really hot when you're trying to camp. So I figured I'd head up into these mountains and try to get some elevation. And not just elevation, but also there's supposed to be a hot spring up here. That's right, a beautiful natural hot spring. I think it's about another 10, 11 miles up this dirt road. So far, the road hasn't been bad. I'm looking forward to getting up there so I can make camp and crack open a cold one. Because, did I mention, it's hot? All right, back in the car. Let's try to find this hot spring. All right, I'm here. Unfortunately, there's a little Forest Service campground right at this hot spring. And normally I really don't care for campgrounds, but since it's free and it's right by the hot spring, I figured why not? The only downside is there's a few people over there, but none of them look like they're actually staying the night. There's one guy who rode down in a side-by-side, and I think he's soaking in the hot spring right now. And then there's another guy over there who looks like he's just fishing. So if I'm lucky, I just might get a chance to sneak a private soak. But while I wait for these guys to leave, I need to set up camp. Ugh. Hopefully this bikini isn't for long. I noticed there's a family with some kids over there, but I think they might be leaving. Oh yeah, there they go, bumping off down the road in a cloud of dust. And believe it or not, while I was setting up camp, one of the other trucks left too. So now there's just one more person over there in that side-by-side. And while I wait for them to leave, I'm just gonna sit here on my tailgate and drink a beer, or a ranch water. Cheers. Well, it's not the most scenic campsite I've ever had. I mean, you can see there was some kind of crazy wildfire that tore through here not too long ago and burned down all the dang trees. But that's okay. It just makes it easier to charge my solar panels and use my Starlink. This thing is surprisingly finicky if there are any trees blocking its view of the satellites. So at least internet won't be a problem here. I'll take advantage of that and check my email while I'm waiting. Far out. Those other people left. Everyone's gone. It's my chance to check out the hot spring. Okay, let's go see what all the fuss is about. Before I go any further, I guess I should apologize for my appearance, but hey man, I've been camping in extreme heat for the last 11 days, and it's just not easy to put on makeup in these conditions. Fortunately, since there's no shade here, I don't have to worry about the heat. It was only like 80 degrees when I got up here, and it's very pleasant. I mean, if you can look past all the burned out trees. Anyway, it's a really small little campground. There's one spot. Looks like there's another spot there. Another spot there, spot there. So only 5 spots, but there are bathrooms, which is nice. You know, digging a hole is all well and good, but every now and then it's nice to have some luxuries. Gosh, you know you've been in the woods too long when you look at a vault toilet as a luxury. And look at this. There's fire pits at this campground, but this one has a sign saying no fires. And it looks like, oh, I see another little orange flag there. Matter of fact, I think there's an orange flag in the fire pit at my campsite too. Which certainly makes sense since, who knows, this whole wildfire that burned all these trees down might have been started by an irresponsible camper. Okay, so the hot springs are down here by the creek. Looks like some little stream is coming down off the mountain there. The barren wasteland of a mountain. Running down, down, down into, oh my goodness, look. There's like a bathhouse. I guess it gets maybe real windy up here. So there's probably a hot spring in that wooden shack. And then, oh my goodness, look how nice. There's a beautiful pool right out here in the open air. Oh, and it looks like there's a little baby pool below it. And oh gosh, this place is pretty cool. Okay, let's go in this bathhouse first. It's kind of a rickety old wooden walkway with probably 1,001 rattlesnakes living under it. But look how neat this little shack is. There's this really cool wooden door. I mean, everything looks like it was made in 1873 by Jeremiah Johnson. Wow, look. Oh my goodness. Look how crystal clear that water is. And that really cool wooden ladder going down into the pool. Wow, and that's a deep pool. Holy cannoli, this is one of the coolest hot springs I've ever been to. I'm not kidding. I wasn't expecting this place to be that cool. I just needed a place to camp tonight at elevation. And so I came here mostly intending to sit at my camp and do some editing. But with a hot spring set up like this, I don't know, it's going to be hard to do any work. Look at just above the ladder where you climb out. There's this weird little window. What the heck is that for? I guess just to let some light in. It reminds me of that TV show Laugh-In. Suck it to me! Remember that show? Okay, let's see how hot this water is. Survey says 96 degrees. Ooh, that's not very hot, but you know, it is still probably like almost 80 degrees outside, so I bet it feels pretty good. Let me just stick my toe in. Let's see. Oh man, that's hotter than 96. Maybe I just wasn't pointing at the right part of the water. Let me try it again. Oh no, it says 96. I don't know, it feels a lot hotter than that to me. But what do I know? Numbers were never my strong suit. Let's go check the outside hot springs. Back out the door. Back down this rickety old walkway. Still nobody else here. Nice. I'll turn here and go down this little path to this beautiful outdoor pool. I mean, wow, this is basically mostly the runoff from that inside soak. So yeah, basically ass water, like so many of the finest hot springs I've been to. But look at, oh, it's so cool how it's coming out that little trough. What, the sun is sparkling on it. So pretty right now. Also making this little waterfall. There's this cool little bench you can sit on. Let's see. 94, a little bit cooler. I have a hard time believing this is only 94 degrees. If it's anything like the one in there, it's gonna feel real nice. Let's see. Oh yeah, this feels amazing. I just thought of something. There's nobody else here, so why am I wearing this bikini? Won't be needing that. Or these. There. Much better. As far as I know, YouTube doesn't have any problem with shadow nudity. Anyway, I'm going to take advantage of my alone time here at this hot spring and poke around. Look, here's a little waterfall. Oh, God. Yeah, it's really nice. I have a hard time believing this is only 96, but maybe that's just because it's a hot day. It feels hotter. And look how cool this trough is coming out. I mean, I'm guessing that's coming straight out of that. Yeah, because that pool in that bathhouse was real deep. So this is coming right out of there. And look at all this cool algae coming out. Amazing. Oh, it feels so cool. And it's full of nutrients. Unfortunately, it might also be full of dingleberries because it was sitting in that hot spring pool. Blech. Okay, so I can easily see myself sitting on that little bench for an hour or 3 as the sun sets over this little meadow of purple flowers, looking out at this beautiful creek and this burned up forest. But there's more exploring to do, so I can't really sit still. Okay, well, here's more runoff coming out into a like little warm creek. Oh look, there's a parking spot behind this rock. One of those kids must have left this. I'll take it with me and do something funny with it. Anyway, this creek just kind of flows down, down, down. Oh, it looks like there might even be a super shallow wallow down there. That's a soakable pool. I'll check that in a second. That's just all runoff coming down out of this pool, which comes down out of the bathhouse. So it's like a series. And if you're one of those types who likes to sit on the waterfall, you could lay over there. But wow, yeah, this is a great flow. Look how fast this water's flowing. And this little pool down here is pretty deep. I'm not even gonna bother to use my thermometer because it doesn't seem to make any sense to how I feel. Ooh, yeah, this one is cooler, which makes sense as, you know, the water cools the farther it comes down here. Uh-oh, look at that. Oh no, wildfire smoke. Yikes. I don't know if I should actually camp here tonight. I mean, when I got here, I didn't see any smoke like that, so it seems like it just started, but oh gosh, I don't even know if you can see because the sun's behind it, but it does look like it's moving pretty fast. And yeah, sure, all the trees in this area are already burned up, so, you know, what harm could it do here? Well, it could burn across the road and trap me up here. Remember, I had to drive up that road like, God, I think the total distance I had to drive up the dirt road was like 16 miles. I don't know, man. Gosh darn it! Just when I find an awesome place to camp and soak, Mother Nature has other plans. Oh dear, it's hard to say if I'm just overreacting and that's just gonna burn out. But I don't know, there's been so many terrible wildfires in the West the last few years. I feel like I shouldn't take any chances. The downside is it's already after 6 o'clock. And gosh, now I gotta go find somewhere else to camp. I don't have a whole lot of time, but I'm not leaving here without at least taking a quick dip in that hot spring. Fire or no fire? Okay, I'll go there in a minute. In front of the rapidly expanding plume of smoke. First though, oh my gosh, I just wanted to check out down by this creek. Look how cool this is. The little bridge going over. Oh, I wonder if this is a warm creek. It's coming out from the bushes there. Let me see. Oh, it is. Oh my gosh, the whole creek is warm. Wow. And it's ooey gooey at the bottom. It feels amazing. Oh, it must be coming out from some other hot seat back here. Is there another hot spring in the bushes? Oh dear, if there is, it's completely overgrown. Oh yeah, look, there's a little pond. I mean, if you were super dedicated, you could get in there and have a nice wallow. Unfortunately, we don't have time for those kinds of frivolities. We're racing against the clock. We gotta get in that shack and get out ski. But first, we finish going across this bridge. I wanna see how cold this creek is. I bet this creek is ice cold snowmelt. Woo, that is cold, but it feels amazing. I wonder if I have time for a quick cold plunge before I get in the hot spring. Oh hell, I can't not do it. I'm alive. Oh my gosh, this is so cold. Talk about refreshing. Okay, I don't know, it wasn't that cold. I've been in colder, but it was just cold enough to really wake me up to reality. The reality of the fact that there's a forest fire bearing down on me and I won't just pack up and go because I have to go in this hot spring. It's my destiny! By golly, it's almost 7 o'clock, but I'm gonna get in this hot spring and I'm gonna finish this ranch water if it's the last thing I do. Never mind that because of this forest fire, it might actually be the last thing I ever do. Oh, look, I can actually latch the door behind me. So that way, even if somebody does come up, they won't be able to sneak in on me. Okay. Man, I was really looking forward to coming in here at night and looking up at the stars, because by the way, there's no ceiling on this thing. But unfortunately, like I said, Mother Nature had other plans for me. Oh my God, this is an amazing hot spring. I'm standing in it and it comes all the way up to my, well, I can't show you, but it comes right up to where I can't show you. And it's crystal clear. I mean, this is one of the cleanest hot springs I've ever soaked in. Just look at that. So you can see the reflection of the sky. Told you there was no roof. So if you were in here at night, the stars would probably reflect on the water too. Oh, I can see sitting in here literally for hours. It's just the right temperature to sit in for hours and hours, reading all this weird graffiti all over the walls. And some of it's pretty cool. It's like carved into the side, like Chubb. Chubb was here in '04, I don't know. Wow. Interestingly, I was reading in a hot spring guidebook that somebody sent me. That's how I found out about this place. It was in a guidebook. Okay, not the guidebook that I normally use. Somebody sent me this really cool guidebook that was written by this woman from New Zealand named Sally. Oh, I forget her last name, but anyway, apparently she hikes to all these crazy remote hot springs. And this one is remote, by the way. I mean, I told you I went 12 miles up a dirt road to get here. Well, prior to that, I had to drive up this windy mountain road for like 40 miles. This place is in the middle of nowhere. Anyway, the woman who wrote this book, she gets around even more than I do. She's been to like every hot spring on the planet. And she was saying when she was sitting in here reading the graffiti, she noticed, you know, it's like Tim and Susie, or Joe and Bob, or Jackson and Cody, or whatever. Well, apparently there's this woman named Deb who shows up a lot, and I thought I saw her name on here somewhere, but I got distracted because look, Poison was here. Why? Every rose has its thorn. Or how about right there, Bend Over. I think we all know Bend Over. I've met him a time or two. Oh, look there, somebody carved this creepy like angel of death figure. Yikes. Considering the conditions with this wildfire, I don't know about that one. Well, I don't see Deb's name anywhere. In this hot spring guidebook, she said it was like Deb and Jim, Jack and Deb, Sue and Deb, Tim and Bob and Deb. And then there was this one guy who wrote Dan without Deb. And I was hoping to be able to find that, but I feel like I'm kind of rushed because of this wildfire. Oh, there's her name. There's Pete and Deb. Oh, and then there's Pete and Deb again. Oh, and there's Dave and Leslie and Deb. Boy, this Deb really gets around. Whoever you are, Deb, I salute you. I want to be the Deb of a hot spring someday. Oh, it's like a hot springs debutante. Okay, enough of that. I gotta get to work. Unfortunately, I gotta shotgun this ranch water, pack up, haul ass down the mountain, and find another place to camp. Man, this is awesome. I could easily stay in this hot spring all evening long until the Milky Way came out, and because we're so remote, you'd be able to see every last one of those stars. But I don't want to get burned to death, so I'm gonna get out, put on my robe, and haul myself back down off this mountain. Let me just check the progress of the fire real quick. Gosh, I was hoping when I came out that it would be gone, but no such luck. It's so hard to know if I'm just overreacting or not. I mean, what are all these other campers doing? You know, that side-by-side actually came back when I was walking around down there doing a cold plunge, and they saw me naked and they took off. They didn't yell at me like, hey, there's a fire, get down off the mountain. You know, like, fire on the mountain, run boys, run. Hussey's in the house of the rising sun. Anyway, I guess just to be safe, I should go ahead and pack up camp, because even if this fire doesn't spread, and I don't know how fast these things go. It's what, 7 o'clock at night? 12 hours from now, 7 a.m. I don't know. I just have a feeling I wouldn't get a very restful night's sleep worrying about it. All right, I guess I'm ready to roll on out of here. Man, I sure do hate having to leave this amazing little hot spring, which I had all to myself because of this dang fire, but I don't know, man. To be honest, it looks really gnarly the way I'm driving back down. And yeah, there is another way I could come down off this mountain, but I'm unfamiliar with the roads, and I kind of tried to look at them on Google Maps, but I had already packed away my Starlink, and I just sort of feel like this is a case of the devil you know. Okay, in other words, like the path you know with all its quirks and tribulations is probably the best one to choose, because at least you know what to expect. And I know the road that I came up, it was long and it was bumpy, but it wasn't anything crazy. And with any luck, I'll be able to get back down out of here and find another place to camp before dark. And I keep imagining what people are going to be writing in the comments of this video, like, oh, haha, you silly goose, you should have just stayed there, those fires always burn the other way, or, you know, you could tell by the way the smoke was going. I don't know, man, it looks pretty bad to me. And to be honest, I kind of have PTSD about this, because one time I was camping on the beach in Northern California in a very remote campground, and some idiot set the friggin' forest on fire with bottle rockets. And so the whole campground had to be evacuated. Cal Fire had to come in with those helicopters and those buckets of water, and there was only one road in and out, and it was on fire. And so we were all trapped overnight. It was terrifying. We all had to drive down onto the beach on the sand because there was no trees around us to burn, and sort of try to get a few winks of sleep because we weren't sure what was gonna happen. And then in the morning, they ended up, I guess there was another route out of there. It was like a logging road that's normally locked, but we got special permission to use it to get out of there because it was, you know, life and death. Well, I'm feeling shades of that experience right now, and I think that's why it's making me so anxious. I don't think I'm just being a wonderhussy. I think I'm being smart. That being said, the smart thing to do would not be to keep talking to my cell phone. I need to put my phone down and concentrate on driving. Oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. I mean, I've already passed up several good places to camp for the night, but I just can't tell if I'm trapping myself in this forest. I mean, this is the only highway out of these mountains, and there's lots of people that live alongside this highway, and I don't know. I even drove past a campground, and there was plenty of people just posted up camping, and they're not worried about it, so golly, maybe I should. I mean, it's already almost 8:30. Maybe I should just find a place to camp here and hope this road is still open in the morning. Okay, screw it. I'm gonna go back to this campsite that I found. Back over this way, where the air is nice and clear, which ironically is the direction of the hot springs. I probably could have just stayed at those dang hot springs. I mean, there's a campground right down there, and nobody seems like they're packing up and leaving. So I'm just gonna go ahead to this dispersed campsite I found earlier and take my chances. Okay, apparently these kids on this quad aren't freaked out at all by this wildfire smoke. So I think I made a big friggin' much ado about nothing. I probably could be sitting in that hot spring right now, enjoying a second ranch water that I didn't have to shotgun, that I was just able to sip and relax and watch the sun go down. But you know, I know how I am, and I would have just worried. So I guess, well, what I ended up doing is I got back on the paved road, so I feel more comfortable. You know, I can get out of here quick if I need to. I'm only, I think, like 25 miles from the highway. So with any luck, the fire won't mess up my egress out of here, and I'll have a nice, pleasant evening. I mean, hey, it's a really nice campsite, you know, and this beautiful pine forest, pine trees that actually have needles on them that aren't burned yet. So I guess I'm just gonna go ahead and make some dinner and try to do some editing and hope everything's okay when I wake up in the morning. I mean, look, there's this giant moose jaw laying on the ground. Isn't that a good sign? Oh dear. I didn't really want to mess around with putting my Starlink back up, but I figured I'd better because there's no cell signal here, and I wanted to look up what the deal is with these fires. And come to find out, well, they're all burning well north of here. I would have been fine to stay at the dang hot spring. But what's really interesting is I actually saw one of the fires start yesterday. Okay, I shot a video yesterday, and by the time I upload this one, I will probably already have uploaded that one at this Buddhist monastery that was north of Missoula, Montana. And as I was exploring the Buddhist monastery, I noted in the video that there were plumes of smoke coming from the mountains. And I even said in the video, oh gee, I hope that's not a wildfire. Well, it was. Apparently it's gotten much bigger. I mean, I just spent probably 20 minutes looking at Google Maps because I don't know the names of any of these towns or where anything is, but it's all over 100, maybe even 200 miles north of here. So I'm pretty sure it's not going to spread this far south overnight. Well, guess what? The skies today are clear and blue with nary a sign of wildfire smoke, which means I definitely could have stayed at that hot spring. Don't! It's okay. Actually, it's better this way because I do have a lot of editing to do, and if I'd stayed up there, well, I would have done a whole lot of soaking and probably not much editing. So, in my grand tradition of looking on the bright side, this is actually better because I can spend all day working, and then when I'm done, I can go find another hot spring.